It is time for us as true worshippers to worship the Lord in spirit and in truth.
It's time to roar like never before.
It is time for you to arise and stand at your post.
It is time for the worshippers to rise up and step into the fullness of the place that He has prepared for us as worship warriors.
I feel that the Lord wants to encourage the worshippers this year that we are making ourselves ready.
I hear Him say that today is the day. It's a new season of worship we are entering into. There's a change and a transformation being carried through the airwaves, and the people are absorbing this sound.
I felt the Lord say that we are learning to warfare in a different dimension with a strategy that brings victory.
See, worship is not an industry, it's a priesthood. And as the priesthood of believers, we are called to be God's worship army. We are called to be frontline warriors for the nation.
You don't underestimate the power of your sound and your song. There is evidence right throughout history that a song could start a war, a song could bring peace, a song can change a nation. Imagine as songwriters and worship leaders, if we understood that, if we really had a revelation of that.
We have authority as His children to change the atmosphere, taking the sound of heaven that has been written on our hearts into places that require His influence.
See, Psalm 149 verse 6 says that let the high praises of God be in their mouths and a double-edged sword in their hands. See, our weapon is praise.
We don't wrestle against flesh and blood, but we wrestle against principalities and powers.
And we have giants in this land that want to come and take us down. But David knew, because he belonged to God, and God had given him a strategy to take Goliath down.
When King Jehoshaphat was facing impossible odds, he knew who to call. It wasn't the archers, it wasn't the chariots, it wasn't the horsemen, it was the worship team. And as they praised God and sang the beauty of His name, God brought the victory. In fact, every time that the nation of Israel turned to God with Davidic worship, with praise day and night, God brought deliverance and victory and revival in their land.
So when we make music, when we sing songs, when we worship God, when we're praising His name, there is a strategy, there is an outcome, there's always a purpose in the songs that He is giving us. It could be for healing, for wholeness, for salvation, for victory, just to adore Him, to declare who He is over this nation. There's always a strategy that brings victory in the songs that He gives us. Let it be released over this nation, over people, over places, over circumstances, whatever the Lord gives you the words to release, and know that it's a warfare in a different dimension with a strategy that brings victory for His glory.
So when the sound of heaven penetrates every cell and every fibre of our being, transformation happens.
We're in a pivotal time in history right now. We're in a divine reset, and the nation needs us.
Consecrate yourselves, for tomorrow the Lord will do wonders amongst you. Worshippers, let me encourage you. Let's get back to holiness. Let's get back to intimacy.
When you worship, let not Sunday be the only or the first time that week that you've worshipped.
Make some time for Him, to spend time with Him, because I really believe that God is wanting to reveal more of who He is, and especially to the worshippers, because you're on the front lines.
Make space for that time during the week where you cast your eyes upon God and you thank Jesus for all that He has done.
And I believe those that in this hour that worship Him in spirit and truth, in the secret place, with no cameras, with no audience, the Lord is going to meet with you, and the Lord is going to encounter you in a way that you've never seen before.
So what a better time than for us, when people are looking for a hope, people are looking for encouragement. Let's come together, let's rise together, join as we all come together.
You know, whether you're leading worship in a stadium or in your local church or in a small group, in your home, your worship matters. Whether you're writing songs for the next hit worship album, or if you're writing choruses that no one will ever hear except the Lord, your worship matters. because it's our job to lift Jesus up and exalt him, and he will draw all men to himself.
Be encouraged that you have been set apart for such a time as this.
So I want to encourage you. It's not about you. It's not about me. This is about what God can do through the power of our worship of him.
God is with you. Is wanting to do great things during this time. He wants to pour out his spirit like never before.
Be encouraged and know it is time to roar like never before.
It is time for you to arise and conquer with your worship. It is time for you to arise and walk in your anointing.
Now is the time to stand tall and worship in a posture of reverence, giving him 100% every single time.
So lift your eyes onto God's goodness and declare it as much and as often as you can.
I cannot wait to see what the Lord's going to do in our midst.
Our weapon is praise. So God's worship army, rise up.
You are a champion, and you were born to make history. You won't be pushed down, 'cause he has a plan of destiny.